Here's what's really going down behind that wall. What sets this party apart from the usual Jamie Foxx bash or any other celeb gathering filled with a mix of women, men, or whoever is, that Diddy had one strict rule: no personal security allowed. Inside. Yet, here's the twist. During the trial, we learned that Prince was actually seen chilling with Diddy at these very parties. And I am not talking about a simple hello or passing nod. They genuinely moved in the same social circles. In fact, Diddy reportedly mentioned that Prince once showed up to his birthday party wearing pajamas. What's even more intriguing is that folks are now suggesting we dig deeper into what Sinead O'Connor said about Prince, because it definitely seemed to point toward Diddy. Prince actually wrote that song. Did you ever meet Prince in person? Yeah, we met once, but honestly, we didn't exactly click. It got so tense that we almost tried to throw down. Wait, seriously? Yeah, we didn't get along at all. You tried to fight each other? Well, it was more like he tried to attack me, and I was just defending myself, but why? Hold on. That doesn't sound like a joke. It sounds serious. No, it was no joke. It was actually a pretty scary experience. Do you really understand what Sinead meant? She specifically said Prince wasn't just nasty to her, he treated other women badly too. I know, Purple Army, calm down. Before you flood the comments, just hear me out. We all admire Prince as this musical genius, an icon, a trendsetter. No one questions that. But when you look beyond the artistry, things get a lot more complicated. And it's not just Sinead talking. Rumors and stories have floated around for years. Because Prince was so mysterious and beloved, people tended to brush aside every little allegation against him. So, have we been missing the full picture all this time? Was Prince really no different than Diddy? What the streets are saying now is that the accusations Prince faced are eerily similar to those Diddy is facing. And now, knowing Prince and Diddy actually hung out, many are questioning what kind of relationship they had. What was the real nature of their friendship? When you start connecting the dots, can you ignore the pattern? Honestly, this is not where I expected the Prince-Diddy story to go. But here we are. As always, I'll break down all the juicy details. So, how did we even find out Prince and Diddy hung out? Well, a former personal assistant to Diddy testified during the trial. She said she worked nonstop for Diddy and was even physically abused multiple times between 2009 and 2017. She testified under the fake name Mia and explained that her time working for Diddy overlapped with Cassie's alleged abuse. Mia told the jury that Diddy tightly controlled Cassie's life, where she went, how she looked, even her music career, and part of Mia's job was to watch Cassie closely. They became more like sisters during that time, but anytime Cassie stepped out of line or did something without Diddy's approval, the consequences were unpredictable and terrifying. Mia also recalled a party in 2010 where Prince's security had to step in because Diddy was attacking Cassie. She said that night, Diddy told her to stay with Cassie at a hotel and keep her company while he said he would be with his kids. Then Mia shared that a friend had called her and Cassie about a party at Prince's house. Naturally, they decided to go. They were having a great time, dancing and watching Prince perform, when suddenly Diddy showed up. Panic set in. They tried to run, but Diddy chased them down. Cassie tripped and fell into the bushes on Prince's front lawn, and that's when Diddy caught up and roughed her up until Prince's security stepped in to stop the chaos. The next day, Mia said the head of Human Resources informed her that Diddy was suspending her without pay for attending Prince's party with Cassie. Just a reminder, HR is rarely on your side, folks. Hearing Mia's account made my stomach turn. But like many others, I want to know what exactly prompted Prince's security to jump in. Was it Prince himself ordering, "Stop that now," or "No fighting on my property"? Or did the security team act on their own to protect Cassie? Some believe Prince genuinely cared about Cassie and told security to intervene, while others, taking into account what Sinead O'Connor revealed, think Prince simply did not want Diddy, causing a scene in front of guests. But when you think about it, maybe it was both, because according to Sinead, Diddy and Prince were cut from a similar cloth. Sinead first shot to global fame in 1990 with her rendition of Nothing Compares to You, a song Prince originally wrote and composed in 1985 for his side project, The Family. Her version became iconic. focusing on a close-up of her shaved head as she sang through tears. Prince publicly praised Sinead's cover in interviews, showering her with kind words. Yet behind the scenes, Sinead said Prince was furious about her success. He called her to his Hollywood estate for what she described as a dressing down. She explained Prince didn't like anyone covering his songs. On top of that, he was annoyed Sinead wasn't one of his many female proteges. To complicate things, her manager had previously managed Prince and was embroiled in a legal battle, leaving Sinead caught in the middle. Sinead also recounted unsettling moments. Prince's butler pressured her to eat soup she did not want, and Prince challenged her to a pillow fight only for her to discover there was a hard object hidden inside the pillow. When she tried to leave his mansion, she said Prince physically blocked her path and dragged her toward his car. She fled on foot to a neighbor's house and frantically rang the doorbell. That's when Prince finally let her go. Sinead described Prince as a brilliant artist, but someone who wrestled with dark substances and harbored a very shadowy side. According to her, many women would confirm these allegations if they had the courage to speak out. She emphasized she was not the only woman Prince mistreated. There were plenty more. In fact, one girl from his band had been hospitalized for a long time with broken ribs. Several women have actually backed up Sinead's story. Take Charlene Friend, for example, Prince's ex-girlfriend, who filed a lawsuit accusing him of both physical and emotional abuse during their 2-year relationship. Charlene's claims got even darker. She said Prince secretly filmed their intimate moments without her consent, demanded she call him Messiah, and threatened her after they broke up. She also described bizarre themed parties he threw, with rooms decked out with cages, chains, and whips. Charlene alleged he forced her to watch videos of him with other women and would deliberately starve her. Honestly, that sounds like a whole new level of twisted behavior. And speaking of women who may have come forward, or at least hinted at similar experiences, Prince's ex-girlfriend spoke out in a bombshell 9-hour documentary exposing physical and emotional abuse, a film his estate desperately tried to suppress. I managed to get hold of some of the allegations featured in that documentary about Prince, and I have to say, they are truly shocking, far more disturbing than most people might expect. The film dives deep into the darker side of Prince's life, focusing on testimonies from several of his former lovers, people who knew him intimately, but also experienced some harrowing moments behind the scenes. One of the most chilling accounts comes from Jill Jones, a woman who had a close relationship with Prince and who was willing to share her story in the documentary. Jill Jones, who was once very close to Prince both personally and professionally, opened up about an incident that took place back in 1984, nearly 4 decades ago. It was a night that clearly left a deep mark on her, one that she had carried with her ever since. Jill described a visit she and a friend made to Prince while they were all staying at a hotel together. At first, the night seemed like a normal, social gathering, but tensions quickly escalated into something much darker. Jill explained that during this visit, Prince kissed her friend, an action that Jill reacted to with anger and frustration. In a moment of bold defiance, she slapped Prince across the face. What Prince said next sent a clear message that this was no ordinary dispute. It was a warning. Jill recalled Prince's exact words, "This ain't no movie." That statement wasn't just dramatic flair, it was a declaration that the rules were different and that things could quickly turn serious. And turn serious they did. According to Jill, what followed was a violent confrontation. Prince began to physically attack her, punching her repeatedly in the face. It was a brutal, frightening experience for Jill, a moment when the artist she admired and loved showed a side that was terrifyingly aggressive. Despite the gravity of the incident, Jill made the difficult choice not to press charges against Prince. This decision marked a turning point in her life, one that added layers of complexity and emotional turmoil that would haunt her for years to come. It was not a simple or easy decision. Rather, it was shaped by a tangled web of external pressures and internal conflicts. Central to this was the role of her manager, a figure who wielded significant influence over Jill's actions during this turbulent time. Her manager was insistent and unyielding, warning her in no uncertain terms that going public with any accusations would not only devastate Prince's career, but could also irreparably damage Jill's own reputation in the industry. The manager painted a bleak picture, emphasizing the potential fallout, loss of opportunities, media backlash, and being branded as someone who tried to ruin a beloved figure. For Jill, these warnings carried a heavy weight. Prince was not just any artist. He was a global icon with an intensely loyal fan base. His image was carefully curated, and any scandal could shatter the public's perception of him. The idea of becoming the source of such a scandal filled Jill with dread. But beyond the external pressures was the even more complicated emotional reality she faced. Despite what had happened, Jill still harbored deep feelings for Prince. The love she felt was tangled with confusion and pain, creating a tumultuous inner battle between her desire to seek justice and her loyalty to someone she had once admired and cared for deeply. This painful mixture of fear, love, and loyalty left Jill feeling trapped in silence. She was caught in a bind where speaking out felt like betrayal, yet staying quiet meant carrying a heavy burden alone. The emotional cost of silence was immense, but the fear of the consequences of breaking it was even greater. Over time, this silence allowed Prince to maintain his carefully crafted public persona as a beloved musical icon. The world continued to celebrate his talent and charisma, unaware of the hidden struggles behind the scenes. Jill's silence became a shield that protected his image, but at a profound personal cost to herself. The complexity of Jill's decision highlights how victims of such incidents often face overwhelming challenges beyond the immediate trauma. They navigate societal expectations, power dynamics, and the difficult question of whether speaking out will bring justice or cause more harm. Jill's story is a poignant reminder of the nuanced reality that not every victim feels empowered or safe to take legal action, especially when the accused holds immense power and public adoration. In the years that followed, Jill's choice to remain silent would shape her life in countless ways. The emotional scars lingered, and the unresolved nature of the incident cast a shadow over her career and personal well-being. Yet she carried the weight of her secret alone, a silent testament to the complicated intersection of love, loyalty, fear, and the harsh realities of fame and power. Jill's story is not an isolated case. It sheds light on a troubling pattern of control and abuse that many artists of Prince's caliber have been accused of hiding behind their fame and influence. The documentary paints a complex picture of Prince as both a brilliant artist and a man capable of great cruelty. Jill's willingness to speak out is courageous, but it also raises questions about how many other women might have suffered in silence, fearing the consequences of speaking up. The dynamic between power, fame, and abuse is not unique to Prince, but his story exemplifies how difficult it can be to hold celebrated figures accountable. The intense loyalty from fans, the media's reluctance to tarnish legends, and the legal and social pressures on victims all contribute to a culture where abuses can be overlooked or minimized. Jill's testimony invites us to reconsider how we view the legacies of those we admire, challenging us to see beyond the music and into the realities that shaped their lives and the lives of those around them. What makes Jill's experience so striking is the contrast between the adoration he inspired and the violence she endured. Prince was a trailblazer, a pioneer of sound and style whose influence on music and culture is undeniable. But beneath the surface of his artistic genius was a man capable of actions that few would have imagined. Jill's story serves as a powerful reminder that the people behind the art are complex, sometimes deeply flawed, and that the truth can be far from the idealized images we cherish. Moreover, Jill's account highlights the difficult decisions victims often face when dealing with abuse by powerful figures. Pressing charges is not just a legal matter. It can mean risking one's career, social standing, and even personal safety. Jill's manager's warning was a cruel reality check. Protecting the abuser's career sometimes comes at the expense of justice and healing. This raises important questions about the structures in the entertainment industry that allow such abuses to persist, and what needs to change to create safer environments for everyone involved. As we listen to Jill's testimony and others like hers, we must also think about the broader implications. How many voices have been silenced? How many stories have been buried to preserve reputations? And how do we reconcile the beautiful, groundbreaking music with the disturbing allegations? It's a difficult balance to strike, but one that is necessary if we are to understand the full picture. Jill Jones's story is just one piece of a larger narrative that challenges us to confront uncomfortable truths. It is a call to recognize the complexities behind fame and to support survivors who step forward, even when it means facing backlash or disbelief. Most importantly, it is a reminder that true appreciation for artists must include accountability and a commitment to justice. In the end, Jill's courage in sharing her experience invites us all to look deeper, not just at Prince, but at the culture that enabled such behavior to be hidden for so long. It is a moment to listen, reflect, and demand change, so that future generations can enjoy the art without having to endure the pain that too many have suffered in silence. Then there's Susanna Melvoin, who shared how Prince monitored her phone calls after she moved in with him, making it difficult for her to leave. Narcissism seems to be the word here. The documentary also reportedly features Prince's ex-wife, Maddie Garcia. Their story is disturbing, starting when Mate was just 16 living in Germany, and her mother sent Prince a video of her belly dancing. This led to Mate getting backstage access at one of his shows. They hit it off immediately, and a year later, she was living with Prince at Paisley Park in Minnesota. With her parents' approval, Prince even became her legal guardian. Their relationship turned intimate when Prince told her it was time to start birth control, initiating control over her body at a very young age. Former collaborators, including members of the Revolution, also recall Prince's controlling side. Lisa Coleman said that when the band asked for better pay, Prince told them that if they really loved him, they wouldn't ask for more. When they threatened to leave, Prince called their bluff, leading to the band's breakup in 1986. This brings up a question many have been wrestling with. Are we simply uncomfortable holding iconic legends accountable? Do we separate the artist from their art too quickly just because we love their music? If Diddy is rightly being scrutinized, shouldn't Prince be too? Considering they ran in the same circles, partied together, and shared a bond, was it just music and fame? Or was there something darker connecting them? Both have faced serious allegations of using their power to control and harm women. Both have been involved in controversial projects and troubling accusations. The deeper we dig, the more complicated the picture becomes. Documentaries and lawsuits surfaced over the years, many silenced, settled quietly, or shut down. But both Prince and Diddy managed to keep their public images mostly untarnished for a long time. So, when do we stop calling these incidents mere coincidences and start recognizing them as part of a larger culture? Now, to be clear, nobody is claiming they were exactly the same. What people are saying is this: if we are willing to bring Diddy into the spotlight over his